Hey everybody, just had a issue with the old stream link. Just posting out some reminders right now. Just give me 1 second and I will get this going. All right, I'm just going to give it like 5 minutes just because of all the technical difficulties we had. All right. Yeah, sorry about that, whoever was on. For some reason the stream wasn't letting me go live, so I just had to create a new link. I posted there to Discord, posted to Twitter, and everything like that. Let me get this up to. All right, perfect. I'm just gonna give it like one more minute, and then we can get started. It's a pretty good one though. Nice recap for 2025, showing like what's to come, everything like that. So really excited about this one. But once again, apologize for the technical difficulties. The chat's open too. So as we're going, feel free to drop any comments. I'll be happy to answer them towards the end. All righty. All right, let's get started. Okay, cool. So this is the product monthly for December 2025. This is a nice little yearly recap we got coming. So we have the highlights, what's next, and then the open floor. So anybody has any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments. I'll also check the tweets, see if anybody has any questions there before we head off for the day. Okay, cool. So what we shipped this month. So overall this year, it was a huge year for us. We had two focuses. Number one, we really wanted to modernize the app, make it feel brand new. There was a lot of back-end work, a lot of code cleanup that was needed that the end users didn't see. In addition to that, we needed to expand our product offering within the wallet and keep up with the trends. So overall this year, we had the stake portal back in January. This allowed us to kind of give an ecosystem overview of all the staking projects in the ecosystem. We categorize them. We allow people to go in there and pick the option that's best for them. And we also ranked everything by TVL. So the more that was staked on the platform, the higher in the rankings it appeared. In April, we launched universal wallets. This is the HD wallet derivation scheme that you often see on other chains like Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, basically everywhere except for Algorand. And what this does is allows you to create multiple accounts using the same mnemonics. So if you ever need like a burner wallet or something like that, you really don't feel like writing down the keys, universal wallets are your friends here. And it also allows us to do a lot more features because the root key allows for things like peer-to-peer encryption. So if we want to do encrypted messages, our liquid auth is powered by the universal key. So it was a really important update for us in order to modernize the way that accounts work on Algorand. In addition to that, we added the Pera swap aggregator in May. And what this did was, instead of just showing quotes from Vestige, we added quotes from Dflex, Folks Finance, and Tinyman. So as if you're looking to swap, not only do we give you one option, we give you many options, and we rank it by which router gives you the best rate. So as you've probably seen recently, Dflex is usually the number one option. So they just give you a better rate overall, and that's what we auto default. So you're getting more for every swap that you make through Pera. And then in September, we added an API system. So this is actually used by Alpha Arcade. And what it does is allows this sort of technology to be included in any dApp anywhere. We made it super easy, really great API. So if you're looking to build on Algorand, you want to add a swap into your product naturally, this is a great way to do it. So like, for example, in the case of Alpha Arcade, they only accept USDC for their token bets. What this allows them to do is if you don't have USDC already in your account, you could actually select Algorand. What it'll do is it'll swap the Algorand for USDC and then pay Alpha Arcade in the USDC, and you get your bet as if you were paying with USDC to begin with. So it's a really great way to remove a lot of the friction that comes with having an ASA as your primary currency. Also in May, we launched the Pera card beta. So this was a really cool proof of concept for us, seeing how everything, the demand for the debit cards, how it works. Algorand was like one of the first chains to do it fully on chain as well. So we actually there's a few caveats with other cards, like you can only withdraw around certain times and things like that. But since everything's decentralized and on chain with Algorand, we didn't have to worry about any of that nonsense. So it was a really cool implementation. And then finally in October, we had the passkey and passwordless wallet login support. So this is what you probably know as Liquid Auth. So if you needed to, you could always use your Pera wallet as your passkey authenticator app instead of having to rely on centralized services like Google, Apple, or 1Password or anything of that sort. In terms of the app modernization, you've probably seen it. There's just so many areas that we improved. So we redesigned the portfolio, account, and asset pages. We added charts, we added tendencies. We brought native assets. So if you want to see the chart of an asset, you can just go to the asset page now. You don't have to go through find it through Discover anymore. We added the favorites and notifications right into the asset page as well. So if you want price alerts, it's super easy to find it now. We modernized the in-app swap, so we completely changed this around. We made it a lot more intuitive. I have some screenshots coming up too, so I'm not going to go too in depth. We revamped the navigation and added the menu. So I don't know if you remember, but we used to have like a little Pera icon in the bottom center. A lot of people, even me, before I started working at the company, I had no idea that was even a button, even though I was like a daily Pera user. And the analytics supported it, and not a lot of people use this. So we removed it. We added the menu button, and it kind of gives us a nice canvas to paint on. But then we fully worked the Discover experience. We had a lot of feedback from the community. A lot of it was hating of the tab structure that we currently had. So we made everything one page. It's a lot more intuitive to scroll. We added news features. So it was a really, really nice rework that we did for Discover. And then in terms of growth, we launched a bunch of campaigns this year. Last year now. So the Paris spin game was probably the most successful one. This was very low cost for us. And the monthly active user increases we saw, and even the retainage that we saw, and for the V2 version where we added the streaking, it was very successful, especially for the amount that the budget that was allocated towards it. In addition to that, for the cards, we added 1% cash back. So this was a long requested feature, and the data for cash back also suggests that it was a very good incentive program. And then we had sign up and spending bonuses for the Pera card. These weren't as successful as the cash back, but it's always good to try things, see what works, see what doesn't work, and go that way. And then community ecosystem. So, me personally, I've been really trying to promote the ecosystem as much, and this is a real core mission that was instilled upon me from the team at Pera. So we open sourced the Android and iOS development repositories. We had already had an open source repositories, but it wasn't the active and live ones. So now if you're curious to see what we're doing, just head over to GitHub and you could check, both the Android and iOS and see exactly what's happening. In addition to that, we launched the monthly community calls as you're currently on right now. It just gives us a better way to tell you what's happening next and be able to, stay in touch with you, get your feedback live. And, I just feel like the more that we talk to the community, talk to our actual users, the better product that we can make in the long run. And what was cool too is the Lucky Spin. Not only did we have it in app, but we brought it to Argentina and India. So it was a really cool way of getting people who have never used Algorand before into Pera Wallet, and then also making transactions. So that was one of the biggest, areas of friction that we saw is, I have my Pera Wallet, but I don't have Algorand. I need to get Algorand. I have to go to a centralized exchange. I got a KYC. Like, it's just such a tedious process in order to get somebody onboard in crypto. But we designed the Lucky Spin. So if you ever wanted to, you'd be like, Grandma, download Pera Wallet and head to the Discover app. And what's great about it is, since we delegate the fees, if you have zero algo in your account, it still works as normally. So it was a bit of a experiment into how we can abstract a lot of the blockchain away, and it really proved to be, a great test case and a great test study based on the results. And just being able to have people come in from Argentina or India, never used blockchain before, and see how easy it is to use Algorand. And then if they ever go and use Ethereum or any other chain, it's just going to feel like a worse UX to them. So that's really our goal. So I wanted to kind of go through some of the monetization, just to kind of see how drastically Pera has changed over the last year. So this was the original homepage. You can see you have that little button in the bottom. We saw the NFT tab over here. Settings was over here as well. And you can see too some of these buttons up top. We have scan QR. So what we did was we added the chart. We added the value currencies, the tendencies. So you could see, in a week, I gained $16, 20%. We moved the QR scanner up here. Looking at other wallets, it was a very typical place for it. And it also gave us the ability to have an extra button on the bottom row. So that allowed us to add the buy sell back. We added these little banners here as well. So this way, we could have different banners at once with different promotional materials. And then more importantly, on the bottom, we added swap down here. And then we also added stake and then the menu button, which gives us a lot more flexibility. For swap, you can see again, very, very basic layout. What I personally did not like about it is you had to choose an asset every time you went to it. I thought it was a very clunky experience. So with our redesigned one, you could easily switch between all your accounts that you have in your wallet. The input currency is, it's filled out. What's nice about this too is when you go to the settings, you'll see the option to toggle on fiat currencies. So if you want to spend $100 worth of Algorand, you don't have to guess it anymore. You just select the fiat option and type in 100, and it'll do the automatic conversion for USDC for you. And then you can see too that the bottom currency auto defaults. So if you're coming in from nothing, it'll default to USDC. But if you're coming in from an ASA, it will have the ASA in that field. We also made it grayed out so that way the user knows that they can't edit the bottom currency. This is just something that's very, very difficult to do for a very small, like UX experience. It's a quality of life update. So we just made it a little more intuitive that you can't edit this bottom number. But in addition to that, we added a swap history. So now you can see all your swaps at a glance. If you click one of these, it auto populates the pairing. We also show the volume for the top 5 swaps as well. So we really made use of that blank space that we were hiding in the original design. The menu. So, if you ever knew that was a button, you clicked it, you would see this screen pop up, and it had a few things. We completely redesigned it. So for example, cards, we were only allowed this little area, but now we have this nice big dashboard up here. It looks way more Pera branded. It looks nicer and it's way more discoverable. In addition, like if you have cards, it'll have different call to action than if you're looking to sign up for one. Move the NFT tab here. You can see the last 3 NFTs you received: buy algo, receive, and buy friends. So, as we continue to add features in here, this creates a nice area for us to be able to put them. And then finally, discover. You can see here the tabs that everybody hated. So what we did was we lined everything up vertically, and we added this new section. You can see too, there's better metrics for Algorand. You have the price, market cap, last block, transactions per second. So it's really, really more in your face. Anything you're looking to do. There's news. There's the top dApps. There's the top movers and top losers. So, and then the top NFT sales. And when you click any of these categories, you can see the full list of everything. So if you click the algo, it takes you to the algo price page. Click news, it'll give you to the full list of news. If you click dApps, it'll give you the full list of dApps. We made a lot of categorical changes there as well. So it's a lot easier to find what you're looking for. Like if you're looking for a DeFi specific app, just click the DeFi category. If you're looking for like NFTs, click the NFT category. Makes it a lot easier to find things. And we also have the favorites tab up here. So if you do favorite assets over time, you could easily just click here and then all your assets and dApps will be in this section. Okay, what's next? So we have fund that's going to be coming. So you can see on the bottom over here, we're going to be changing things around a little bit. But we wanted to redo our on-ramp experience. This was like the last major area of the app that hasn't been modernized yet. And we're really excited for what we're going to be bringing because it was a key area of friction. There, we only had a couple of countries for on-ramping fiat. If you lived in the United States, you clicked it, it said it does not support your region. So what we did here was we integrated ExoSwap. And this allows you to bridge other currencies from, Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC on other chains into Algorand or USDC. We also, this dashboard was built by us, so we really focused a lot on UI UX, and we're not using a third-party widget anymore. In addition to that, you could also, for like US users, it'll default to USDC. So now when you come into the screen, you'll be able to either swap your cryptocurrencies to Algo or USDC, or you could purchase USDC with your credit card if you want to. In addition, we're looking at integrating Braille for ACH transfers as well. So we're trying to give the US users a lot more options here and make this feature accessible to them. But you can see, you have your fiat currencies, you have your cryptocurrencies. In addition to that, we added a history tab. So you can see, not every chain is instant and final like Algorand. So being able to check the status of your order, cancel it if it failed, you'll be able to understand the status of everything that's happening. So we're hoping to launch this next week. Worst case scenario, probably the following week, but it is very close to coming. And then in addition to that, we're looking for a single account view. Now this is a work in progress for the most part, but what we want to do is, most users are only going to have one account. And right now the portfolio screen is relatively unintuitive for new users. You go to any other wallet and it's a single account that's there. So we really want to reduce a little confusion there. So what this does is it basically flattens the portfolio page down into the account view. But in order to keep the functionality, because power users like myself, I do enjoy the portfolio view. What we do is you have the slider here that gives you basically everything that you would see anyway. So your total portfolio value, the percentage changes, you click show chart, I'll show you the chart. And then you have your accounts here. In addition to that, we also want to make the card app and our virtual bank accounts, which are going to be coming soon, more intuitive. So you can see them as individual accounts here as well. And for joint accounts, which we're hoping to launch in February, you can see the account here. And if you have any requests, you'll be able to see that as well. In addition to that, we also combine the messages, the inbox and the notifications into one screen. So this allows us to kind of sandwich things down and allow people to have like one spot to check things instead of having two. So we're really excited about this change as well. And it allows us to be a lot more scalable in the future because the portfolio page takes a lot of data. We have to pull every single account that you have connected, every single asset of the account. Just creates a lot of bloat, for lack of better words. So by focusing on one account at a time and loading that in, we'll be able to provide just better and more reactive, price updates, things like that, since we don't have to pull as much data at once. So the upcoming priorities, the multi-signature joint accounts, that's in progress. Hoping for next month. Fund, we're hoping for this month. While connecting transaction display, you'll probably see those coming, within the probably this quarter. In addition to that, we're looking at building a React Native app. So this would allow us to basically have better velocity. Right now, we have to essentially do everything twice. Where React Native, we only have to do it once. So this is currently in progress. We also have the virtual IBAN accounts, Noah. So really excited about this feature. So essentially, you can create a virtual bank account, and if you want, and you can have your direct deposit come on chain as USDC. If you have family abroad, they can create an account, you send it to their bank account, and they get it in their crypto wallet. Just a really useful way of on-ramping funds and off-ramping as well. So really excited for that one. We have a little token minter in planning. This one's relatively low priority, but we do want to show off how ASAs on Algorand work. And in addition to that, I know a lot of people have been asking, but we do have a solution for Algorand secure backup in the works. Basically, this is going to be a better UX. The Algorand secure backup, it doesn't work with HD wallets, which is why we had to remove it. In addition to that, it was two parts. You had to memorize 12 words, and then you also had to save a file. Like, users didn't understand that they had to save the file or transfer the file to their new phone, things like that. So it just wasn't a good backup system. So, we're looking at a more intuitive, something that you would find in a regular app, like nothing that's too crazy. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully by Q2, this thing's installed. Okay, open floor. I'm going to just check the comments. I've had nothing but positive experience. You guys should be proud of your work. Appreciate it. we try hard. We're all Algorand users too, which I think helps. We want a good wallet to use the app with. What will happen in the future of the spin game? So right now we have spin games on pause. We're looking at ways of making it more engaging. Maybe potentially adding in different types of games as well. Nothing's definitive right now, as we have just higher priority items to take care of. But hopefully in like Q1, we'll be able to launch a new version of the spin game. So what next, bro? 2026. Yeah, so I just had the what's next. When are the governance NFT badges going to be used in the wallet? So we're looking at adding them back. With the React Native app, we can do more things around theming, which is what I'm thinking for now. In addition to that, once we have fees coming back to the wallet or stuff like that, we'll be able to have more utility. In the past, they were used as a fee discount for the swapper, in case you didn't know. Is AF moving back to the US changing anything? No, it really shouldn't. Well, fees is irregardless. It was a legal decision in the past that we disabled it. But with the new council, we're looking at re-enabling them. So Roka is its own thing, but they might use it as the base of Roka, if that makes sense. Since we don't essentially Roka, there's a lot of confusion about Roka. So it's not really a wallet. It's more of a app that has Algorand in the background, if that makes sense. So like the end user, they're coming in, they think they're playing chess, and the games are recording on the blockchain. There's a wallet that's associated with the account, but they don't know any of this stuff. It's just kind of like out there for them. So what they could do essentially is that they could basically like strip off the face of our React Native app and then build the world chess on top of it and just basically close off everything. But we have to see what the actual scope is for Roka too. But it's just kind of like some areas that we're thinking. But nothing is guaranteed right now. But we will be chugging along with our app regardless. Cool. Let me just check Twitter real quick, make sure there's any questions there if anybody's watching. Okay, no questions on Twitter. So yeah, anybody has any last minute questions, just throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll let you all go. Yeah, sure. So here's the Fund app. This is like the new on-ramp that we have. So essentially you could basically swap other cryptocurrencies to Algo USDC, or you can, buy Algo or USDC using your fiat currencies. So this one should be coming this month. And then this is another like proof of concept that we have coming. So this is a single account view, basically collapse the portfolio screen down into the account view. And we also have a portfolio slider that you can use, and it'll allow you to pull up all your accounts and easily switch between them. So the upcoming priorities, we have multi-signature joint accounts, hoping to get this out in February. The fund feature this month, the wallet connect and transaction display we're looking at, just as we finish them. React Native app, hopefully by H2, we have this out. Virtual IBAN accounts, hopefully by the end of Q1, we have this out. Token Minter, maybe Q2, and Pera backup, hopefully by the end of Q2. So. Yeah, anytime. All right, cool. Thanks. I think we got 10 people here. I think that's probably the most we had so far. So appreciate you all coming. Always feel free. We're very active on Twitter, anything like that. If you have any questions, feature updates, anything of that sort, we're here to work with you guys. It's part of our core values as a community wallet to help work with the community and get you guys the best wallet experience in Web3. So, all right. Have a good one, everybody.